Is it rolling? What's up, everybody? It's Bobby Lisa from the Bronx. What's going on, guys? I'm using my new phone. I'm really not digging this phone too much. I appreciate that I got a new phone. I really am, but it has like a panoramic kind of view, if you guys could see. The baby got a peanut butter all over me. So what it is it's called the Alcatel. And basically it has two cameras on it. So basically, you know, the two cameras will give it, like I said, like a more dimensional type of viewing, if you will. It's good for like portraying outside views, but for personal, like personal facial portrayal videos, like vlogging of that nature, it's really, I don't know, I just think it looks strange. I don't know. So guys, I wanted to talk to you guys about a couple of things. I remember last week I had mentioned that I was going to make my videos more organized and basically break them down to and fro to my program so you guys can get a general idea of the area and just get a little piece of the action of the Bronx, you know what I'm saying? And then I was going to do a little something with the baby and then do like an experience story time, if you will. So last week, happy President's Day, by the way. The dead presidents, you know, those, you know, paper chasing. Everybody needs money to survive. And I'll get into that in a second. So, I haven't had a chance to do things. So there I am wiggling again. I'm wiggling those legs. I've always done that. I've always wiggled my legs. Actually, this camera don't look so bad. I do like my other phone though because I like the resolution. This is like a filter and it makes me look so like pale. And it makes my eye color look different. My eyes are like more of like a teal color. Sometimes they do change that color. My eyes change like mad colors. Sometimes my eyes are like purple. Sometimes they're like sky blue. Sometimes they're like, they look fluorescent blue. Like, it's crazy. Sometimes like deep ocean blue. Sometimes they're dark gray. Sometimes they're light gray. Yo, my eyes spook me out sometimes, guys. Like, I'll look at them in the mirror and I'm like, okay, they're really nice. I'm not gonna say no. But they just, I don't know, like I have this weird look. I just can't explain it. But I thank God that I could see. And that is first and foremost the most important thing. So I haven't had a chance to do, you know, more organized or like stick to, I'm not going to stick to a certain genre as far as like one dimensional. That's just not my style. I'm more spur of the moment. Like I said, I don't edit anything. Only that one time when Weedy B ran out, that time when Tito was speaking the other day about his past a little bit, about our friend Indio under the bridge, that he knows him longer than me. And as a matter of fact, when I lived under the bridge with him, I didn't even know they knew each other. So that's how weird that was. Like, we ran into him like briefly at the gas station, because there's a gas station right across the way from there. It's a BP, Better Petroleum. So when we ran into him, I was like, oh, hi. And Tito was like, oh, you know, talking to him in Spanish. I'm like, wait, you guys know each other? He's like, this is my manito. I was like, I lived with him under the bridge on and off for years. Like, that was just so, I don't know. It's just, well, Hunts Point is Hunts Point. You know, everybody, the old timers, everybody knows each other. And I'm proud to say that from the time I've been there, since like the end of 2001, I can honestly say that when I was there, the old timers were still there. But those old timers were there from when Tito was there. And that was back in the 80s. So Tito was in Hunts Point while they were doing the documentary Hookers to the Point. Tito knew all of those people in that doc, most of them, like the Hispanic ones and stuff. I love that documentary. That guy that did that did an uber job. Like, it blows to me let me just stick to one thing at a time. I just had my health food, my peanut butter, honey, and cinnamon drizzled with olive oil. And I have my coffee with olive oil in it. And I have my face with olive oil. Guys, you have to eat healthy. I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you my personal experiences and what has healed my body. I had high blood pressure. And I went to the doctor. And I was like, I really don't want to go on high blood pressure. And I never had high blood pressure in my life. And I'll get into why I wound up getting high blood pressure. That is way down the road in my life, which is now recent. But now it's past, if you know what I'm saying. It was just a little while ago. But even when I was intravenously using cocaine, I used to have low blood pressure. And I have low blood pressure again. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, God. So I was like, I don't want to go on medication. I'm not a big medication buff, big pharma. Listen, they harm more than help. And I'll leave it as that. You come to your own conclusions. So the doctor, I asked him, and I said, Soloway, a PA, physician assistant rather. But this woman was brilliant. Absolutely, voila, brilliant. And she said to me, well, there are some holistic things you could do. She told me to eat bananas and spices. And I said, wow. I said, you know what? I said, you're telling me this, and it's like I already knew that. Like it was branded in my heart. So not only did the doctor, the physician assistant, Soloway, PA Soloway, from my program, tell me this, but before she told me that, I started to become very attracted and curious and wanted to use spices. I always loved curry powder, and I did research on curry powder. Like I said, I am not a doctor. I'm just telling you what I've read on the internet. I don't read books. I'm more of an observer. I like to observe to learn rather than read. Honestly, if I'm going to read anything, it's going to be the Bible, and that's just my personal preference. I can honestly say maybe I've read 2 books in my whole life. It was The Deadly Stranger. I love that book, The Deadly Stranger, man. And what other book did I read? There was another book that I read. It was like a book for adolescents, and it's like you got to choose the chapter you want to go to next. It was very different, but anyway. But The Deadly Stranger, I remember very well. So I'll give you just a quick reason why I read that when I was a kid. So I used to get punished every summer, and I was not allowed to have any fun really. And I'm telling you the truth. There was a pool in my backyard. My dad put the pool in when I had turned like 11, right before I left. And I used to watch everyone from the window having fun, and it was really hard for me. And I just picked the book up, and I got lost in the book, and I resonated with that book because it was about a young girl. I believe she either ran away and got kidnapped or got kidnapped. I know she definitely got kidnapped, but just there was something about that book, and it was her and her friend. And I would love to read that book again. But I don't want to get off subject. I don't want to deter off subject. So, basically, I started taking the spices like a little before Soloway had told me. And what I noticed was a difference in everything. My thinking was more clear. I never really get sick anyway, except when I had gotten bacterial pneumonia when I was out on the street. But other than that, and if I do get sick, my body beats it off like that. Like I said, I was the lucky 20 percentile. So I had beaten hepatitis C on my own and then re-contracted the virus because I did not know till after the fact, because it was their negligence for not telling me, like, come on, you have a patient that beat Hep C, like, that's a phenomenon. That's like a miracle. That's like, a rarity of extreme proportions. Am I wrong? 20 percentile of all the people who catch Hep C, only 20% will beat it on its own. And they did not inform me. I don't know if I could have sued them for that, because I recontracted the virus. Because don't you think if I would have known that I had beat Hep C on my own, that I would have, even though I should have, not had risky behavior after that? Don't you think I would have been a little more cautious? Because I was fresh off the street at that time, and I was on my road to recovery and taking good care of myself, mind, body, spirit. And that's what happened. So that's how I was drawn into spices and breathing exercises. Now, as far as like deep tissue, I think it's called fascias. It's that thin lining that is around our muscles. And when you rub that, I believe I'm saying it right. I know it starts with an F and it sounds like that. I think I might be pronouncing it wrong, but nevertheless, fascias is like that thin lining, like a netting. And when you do deep body massage, there was a lady, her last name is Black, and she basically was on this mission to help people with like, I believe arthritis and muscle pain and stuff of that nature. And she came up with this tool. And the tool is like, you take this tool and you rub it up and down where you have pain. And supposedly it penetrates that thin lining, the fascias, and it just brings like all these like nutrients and just these like collagen and stuff like that. And it promotes health and well-being and healing. Now, like I said, I am not a doctor, but I watched this woman, and on her website, her last name is Black, and she came up with this tool, and she got it patented, and the results were phenomenal. She had helped so many people swear by this, like legitimate doctors and stuff. So I have my own tool. It's not hers. I would love to get her tool, but I do on my legs because I have spider veins from having 4 children. And I have circulation issues from being out on the street for over a decade and my feet being exposed. Even when Chris Arnatti, that's how you pronounce his last name, even when Chris Arnatti did the documentary with us girls, even the commentary, when he interviewed me, he mentioned that I was out there in the wintertime, this is totally accurate, with slippers. I wore slippers in the snow, guys. My feet, I will not show you my feet because my feet are so bad. My poor feet. I don't have ugly feet, but my feet are like, how could I put it? Just messed up from being out there, and I'll leave it as that. I'm just glad I have feet to walk on. Thank God. Because my feet could have easily been amputated. Absolutely. Like I said, my feet turned purple, and I don't have a bad heart, and I do not have anything like clots or anything because I got that checked, but I have like spider veins and stuff. So basically, I started doing this deep tissue massage, the fascia massage, and I noticed my own personal experience. I noticed a huge difference, guys. A huge difference in the color of my feet, a huge difference in my circulation, a really different period. I felt, it feels so good. The massage feels so good. This is why I don't like this phone. Do you see, like, I'm getting paler by the moment? What is going on? It's so weird. Oh my God. But anyway, so, there we go, a little bit of, there I am. Hi. Oh my God, like it looks so weird the other way. I don't like this one, guys. So that's what I want to say about that. That's why I was so drawn into the spices, and because God the Holy Spirit. You know, people have to understand, and not everyone is spiritual, but God has anointed certain people with an immense spirituality, that they are in tune with the frequencies and the intelligence that God is given certain people. And I honestly am one of those people, and I'm not bragging, and I am so grateful. I am so grateful that God has done this for me. I am unworthy. First of all, I'm unworthy that he gave his life for my sins, that he died on the cross of Calvary for my wretched ways. I am not worthy, and I never will be worthy. I am wretched. I'm a wretched sinner, and without the Lord, I'm 6 feet under, spiritually and physically. And I will never be ashamed. Never. Never be ashamed of my faith. Like I said this time and time again. Not only did God save me from the streets of Hunts Point and crazy, life-threatening things that I've experienced out there in Hunts Point and in the street, and all the abuse I endured as a child, the Lord has I never became bitter, guys. Never. I'm always the same, like even out on the street. Now, I will say this, when I lost my children to domestic violence and they would not give me back my kids, that is what led to my drug addiction. Like I said, I did smoke weed when I had my first 2 children once in a while. I'm not condoning that. I'm not saying that, oh, I only smoked weed and someone else did this and I'm better. No, I'm not. A drug is a drug is a drug. And I still smoked weed, and that's all there is to it. I just didn't do hardcore drugs until afterward. And that is the God's honest truth. I wish there was a way. You know, when I say that I want to show proof, it's because anybody could say anything. Look what happened with Kelly, and I'm not saying that she's a liar. I don't know. I haven't seen anything that says, how can I put it? It's like, for someone to make things up like that is really like, what I'm saying is, if she did make anything up, she probably didn't make it all up. Maybe she exaggerated a little bit to get more sympathy from people. And you have to understand, you know, she's just a kid. She's still learning as she goes along in life. People got to cut her some slack. She definitely went through something. There's no way in hell that girl didn't go through anything. I refuse to believe that. Was it as horrific as she said? Only the good Lord knows. And yes, people are going to commentary on it, and that's their right to do so, as I am doing it right now. But what I'm saying is that it's always good to show proof, and it doesn't show that a guilty conscience. It just proves that in this world, you have to prove yourself because people make things up. You know, I could be a person and say, oh, take my word for it. But you know what? You guys see my character for what it is, but anybody, like I said, anybody can make that up. Like I said, I gave you guys my name. Check my arrest history. You will see that my arrest history prolonged for over a decade, and it was all mostly in Hunts Point. A couple of arrests on Long Island. My felony was on Long Island. I'm not praising that I'm a felon. I'm ashamed of it, and I'm ashamed of how I'm a felon, and I'll get into that one day. And what I did was wrong, and I did my time. But 98% of my arrests are in Hunts Point, in the Bronx. Mostly. A couple of arrests happen outside of Hunts Point, but still in the Bronx, but predominantly all my arrests are in Hunts Point for prostitution and drugs. And I'll never forget the first time I got arrested, because I had very little arrest history, almost none. And it was the first time being arrested for prostitution in the Bronx. Before that, I got arrested. They busted me when I had drove out from Long Island with my ex, my uncle, may he rest in peace, the Deuce, they call him the Deuce, and Elena. We went to cop on 169th in Washington in, what the hell, what's the name of those housing projects? Morrison Housing Projects, I believe. Yeah, I believe that's the name of them. On 169 in Washington. And when we came out from copping, got in the truck, and they impounded the truck and everything. They took all of us. And I wound up bailing out from the precinct. They didn't find nothing on me per se, but the trespassing and all of that. But when I got arrested for the first time for prostitution, I remember walking up to the stairs, because when you go through central booking, it's like, first you go to the precinct, you sit in the precinct for a long time. And the 4-1, where I did my little documentary thing the other day, when I went in the precinct, they wouldn't let me go in. That's the Fort Apache. That's the 4-1. Oh God, do I have a lot of memories in there. But so you sit in there. They put you, the men in a cage, and the women sit in like this in the front of the cage on a metal bench, and there's a bar where they handcuff you. You sit in there for a long time. And you say, oh, can we get cigarettes? Because cigarettes, they're like, yeah, when we're going to transport you to a central booking, we'll give you a cigarette. Sometimes they came through, sometimes they didn't. And you'd have to smoke like this. They would not uncuff you. You were on a chain link, and you had to smoke with your hand and turn your body. And you have to learn how to do that, because some people were very new to that, and they didn't know how to do it. So I had to show them, like, you got to twist your body and bring your head down like that. You become accustomed to these things when you've been arrested so much. Even I had to, because at first I didn't know how to do it. And someone had to show me the ropes. You know, like I said, I'm not condoning any of this. I'm just giving you my experience. So after that, they transport you. Like I said, if you're lucky, you get a cigarette. Okay? And if you didn't get straight before that, you're sick as a dog. You're feeling it. So that cigarette is going to help. You know, when you're sick, a cigarette, it comes in handy. Please. I know the deal with that. It really does. And it's like, you want that cigarette so much more when you can't get one. Am I wrong? Like, when you can't get a cigarette, you really want one. Like, when you have no accessibility. Like, you can have a whole pack, and you're like, this is me personally, I'm good. But when you are in a predicament like that, where you're confined and you have no accessibility, it's like you crave it even more, and especially being, if you're getting sick or whatnot. Damn, this room is so weird. I'm like getting paler by the minute, guys. You see this? I'm trying to get some kind of shadowing. It's just so weird. Oh God, can't wait to get my other phone back. And I'm wiggling again. So basically, they bring you to Central Booking, and it's a whole process. They finger image you at the precinct. Sometimes, if something happened, they finger image you at Central Booking. So you get there, you wait, process you in, you got to get your picture taken, then they put you in another bullpen, and they changed the whole rigmarole in Central Booking. It used to be NYPD until you got upstairs to the platform where you're going to see the judge and wait it out in a bullpen up there. DOC took over everything, Department of Corrections. They took over the whole thing. So basically, when you first walk in, it's NYPD. And then when you reach that point of getting pictured, it's either right after the point of getting your picture taken or right before that, it's all DOC. And, you have to, if you're hungry, sometimes if they're cool, they'll give you one of the bullpen sandwiches. And, those things are horrible. But when you're hungry, you want to eat something. So especially if you were, on the street for quite some time, and, you might be hungry. So I did not eat the meat sandwiches, the bologna. Halal got cheese sandwiches. They would give you a little rinky pack of mustard and stuff. Hey, look, it's food. It's not the best. But I ate the peanut butter sandwiches. They would give peanut butter and syrup. People say, oh, it's honey. I'm like, no, honey, that ain't honey. That's syrup. But anyhow. So, like I said, you get processed, then you wait and wait and wait and wait, and then they bring you upstairs on a chain link, and then they uncuff you, okay, and then you go into, there's several cells. Most of the cells are the men's cells. The one right next to the little booth where the COs are, DOC, is the female booth. The female So the female cell is like the size of my kitchen, literally. A little bigger. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but it's a very small, confined area. Very small. It has benches all around, a payphone, if they still have the payphone in there. I haven't been there in quite some time. I haven't been arrested in over 8 years, thank God. Last time I got arrested was me and Tito. We paid the fare and we both went through, so they got us for the turnstile thing. Ridiculous. So basically, it's women crammed in a small space. Half of them are sick. Half of them are mad as hell. All of them are mad as hell. But us, the girls, the ones from the street, are sick, man. And people are laying on the floor, and there's roaches, and there's flies. And I remember one time this old lady, she was like 80 years old. She was a veteran, man. She went to the toilet and started washing her privates with the toilet water. I lied to you not. I kid you not. And everyone was like, oh shit, yo, that old lady, like, what are you doing? The poor woman. Oh my God. She had to be, I'm telling you guys, like 80 years old, and she's just splashing and laughing too. She was laughing it up. It's like she was having a grand old time. God bless her. She's still alive. You know, but people are mad tight in there. They just want to get out, and they calling everyone and their mother to get them out, and someone just like, it ain't nothing. Some people like going to jail. It's the truth. There's some girls in there like, I'm gonna go see my friend. You know, I'm gonna hook up with my pals and all that nonsense. And then there are some like me that just want to get back out to the street, make my money, and do my thing. I did not want to be in there at all. And the girls, like hood, real hood, they do not like street girls at all. They can't stand them. They can't stand us. They couldn't stand it. Oh, you stink, bitch. Yo, you nasty bitch. Yo, get me the fuck out of here with these fucking hoes. Oh, you fucking motherfucker, get the fuck. Yo, you better not touch me. Yo, you better get the fuck away from me. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, they do not hold back in Central Booking in the Bronx. They will, if you around like a big girl, like a big Monique girl, you know what I'm talking about, and you sick, it doesn't matter what color you are. You can be black, you can be white, you could be Hispanic. They do not want you near them. If you ain't one of their friends or someone they might know, or you look like you got your shit together, they do not want you near them, and they will kick you, and they don't care. Because guess what? There's 2 doors. There's the bars, and the COs have another door. The men's pen don't have a door like that, but the women's does. And they only give the pregnant girls a mat. The floor is hard, cold stainless steel with these little notches in it. It's hard. So that's where you are until you see the judge. Now, if you get lucky enough to get out, you go see the judge, and then you walk out those doors. And you got it. Sometimes I've heard they give you Metro cards. I never got a Metro card. Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Maybe once I did. I think one time I got a Metro card. But as far as every other time, man, I had to fend my way back home. Got in the butt. One time I was so sick, guys. What time? 20 minutes. I'm going to tell you this real quick and I got to go. One time I was so fucking sick, excuse my language, that I piss and shit my pants, guys. Excuse my language. I'm just being raw with you. And I had sweatpants on and a t-shirt, and it was snowing, and slippers, and it was snowing outside. I'm talking about real hardcore snow. It was snowing so hard. And I got in that bus, and before I got in the bus, I went into the Dunkin' Donuts that's over there. And I went in there, and I had all this feces over me. Oh my God, Lord Jesus. Whoo, Lord, I was so sick, guys. I had fecal matter all over me. I had urinated all over me. So that's what I'm trying to say. Drugs is no joke. Don't ever use drugs, guys. If anybody's watching this that is curious to use drugs, do not use drugs. Drugs is not a joke. It's not a game. And when you get hooked on that, it's like you get sick, and with the heroin, you get sick and you need it. And if you don't, you pee and you crap all over yourself, and sometimes it comes out like water. There's no holding back because you're that sick. You can't hold your bowels. You can't. And that's what happened with me. I could not hold my bowels. I went in the Dunkin' Donuts bathroom. I was rinsing out my sweatpants. They stunk so bad, guys. I had to throw them in the garbage and had to walk outside with thank God the t-shirt was long. It was a long t-shirt. Thank God that t-shirt was long. Because if that t-shirt wasn't long, I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have got arrested. I had no money. I probably would have got arrested for lewd exposure or whatever that's called. So I get in the bus like this, guys. It's 30 minutes. Get in the bus like this, and everyone's staring at me, and I stunk, and I had a t-shirt on with flip-flops in the freezing cold. Actually, I was surprised that they let me on the bus. I really was, because I really stunk really bad. But I'm going to start telling more of my experiences out there on the street now. It's 30 minutes and 44 seconds and counting, and I got to cut it off. But I'll make another video later. I want to tell you guys everything about my past, alright? Ciao. God bless you.